just resend it. Okay, so here we are, Anthony, and you've already handed in, or I'm sorry, you already submitted your assignment on CodeGrade, but you're curious about your score.
Yes.
Right? And so the first thing that you should do is along the top, there is a, you're in the auto test tab, but if you look to the right of that, there is a code tab. So up at the top, there is a code tab, exactly. And if you click on the module, if you click on, what happens if you click on feedback overview as well?
There's no
Nothing there.
feedback, please.
Okay,
You
so you
haven't
go
given
to the
feedback.
code. All right, so you can go back to the code. Beautiful. And then if you scroll down, so this is what you've handed in. All right. Beautiful. All right. Excellent. Let's see here.
Unsupported output.
Don't worry about that. That's your pandas profiling giving you some issues. If you click on the Anthony, hold on where we are. Let me pull up my version of this just so I'm clear on this. All right, beautiful. And so if you click on code, interesting, your feedback is not available. Okay, let me do a little bit of troubleshooting on this. I'm not sure where yours is. Hold on one second.
Could extra code blocks have screwed it up?
I mean, that's a possibility, but generally what's happens is there's something in your code where you're not passing some given number of tests. So for example, I can see that you're using Plotly. That could be an issue. Let me try a couple other things and let's just see here.
Well, I just imported Plotly just in case I needed it. I do all my
Right,
imports at the
right.
beginning.
Uh-huh. So here are a couple issues. First, if you scroll down to where you do your train test split, oh, I know exactly what's happening here. So a lot of this has to do with variables not being defined. Let's see here. Ugh, this is the worst. So what's happening here is that your first module, so here's the issue. The first thing is you're importing Plotly as, you're importing Plotly when it isn't there, right? It's not there in the environment for you to actually work with. And so what you need to do is go back to the submission that you made, wherever that is, and remove Plotly since you don't use it. And then just make sure you can run your code from top to bottom so that it actually works.
Should I get rid of his profile reports as well?
I mean, you no longer need it, so you could get rid of it if you wanted, yeah?
Oh, well, it's running.
Or you can also just comment it out. But there it is.
Let's see. No errors. So I got down to here.
Okay. Now here where you're doing this duplication, where you have your, you're doing the transpose, this
I was
will,
about to start cleaning up the data even more. That's what I was doing.
okay. One thing I would recommend that you do is, since this is such a large data frame, and to do that transposition can be very computationally expensive with such a large data frame. And so if you're just checking for repeated columns, the best thing is to do like df head 10. So that way you're only taking the first 10 rows and then transposing those instead of the whole data frame.
Okay.
But what we can do is, now that that is done, now that your model is working and we don't have Plotly there, if you want, you can comment out those two transpositions that you did and just resubmit and see if your submission works better than it did last time.
Right, so comment out these two, as well as comment out up here. This is no longer needed. And I'll comment out the DF info. Okay. Okay, now how do I resubmit?
And so what you can do is you can go back to, there's that back arrow. Whoop,
Okay.
there we go. Beautiful. And so now you're first in the queue. And as soon as stuff happens, you should be okay. At any rate, this will take a second because it's going to make a new, it's going to make a new computer and then run it.
Mm-hmm.
But once it runs, I think you'll find that the output is going to be a little bit different in terms of your scoring.
I might need to go back and comment out a few other imports that I didn't use, probably, right?
I mean, generally speaking, if you're not going to use an import, then you don't need to import it. You're definitely right that doing it right at the beginning is a good thing to do. It's the accepted practice. But yeah, if you're not going to use it, then no need to have it in there. All right. Well, I am going to sneak away, but